What a wonderful, joyful way to begin on a rainy, overcast morning. Thank you, Juan, for that. And I'm sure you were all thinking Blue Boat Home as he played. Wasn't that great? So welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign on this wonderful September morning as we gather here on Green Street or online at home. And a special welcome to anyone joining us for the first time. Would it just be too much to ask you to raise your hand if you are here for the first time? Oh, we are so grateful to see that. It's wonderful. That's just fabulous. We're so glad to have you here. We're also glad that joining us in the sanctuary this morning are some children who are beginning their first day of religious exploration and engagement this morning. So we're going to celebrate them later, but woo! My name is Janet Ravel Barrett, and I am co-chair of the Settled Minister Search Team, along with Pat McClard, who you will meet later if you don't already know him. Unitarian Universalists embrace being on the search in so many ways, seeking spiritual growth, sacred community, and constructive avenues of service. As a church of many theologies, a justice-centered, multi-faith congregation that values deeds above creeds, and a religious community that strives to build beloved community, we rely on our principles of our faith to guide future paths. That is a theme of the morning. Here in the sanctuary, we honor each other's preferences for safe distancing by using these color-coded lanyards. Red for those who prefer to keep a safe distance from others. Yellow for those who welcome interaction, including talk and eye contact. And green for those who feel safe with handshakes and hugs. We will be singing in the sanctuary this morning, so think about that and take time to move a little further apart if you feel more comfortable doing that, or if you wish to follow the service in Fellowship Hall, it will be broadcast in that hall as well. For those of you joining from home, you'll find an order of service on our website, and if you wish to chat with other UUCUC members, you'll find the live stream chat box on our YouTube page. If you have a chalice, you might want to have it handy so you can join us in this weekly ritual with those here in person. We also invite you, as every Sunday, to contribute to the joys and sorrows that we'll share later on. There's time to email your message to joysandsorrows@uucuc.org. as well as note cards for those of you here in the sanctuary for handwritten messages. The theme for this morning is Together on the Search, but if that phrase were followed by a colon, I'm an academic, so everything gets followed by a colon, right? You can't just have a title that stands alone. I would add celebration, commemoration, and invitation as sub-themes. We'll begin our service this morning in grand celebration with a warm welcome for the children and youth in our midst who are beginning their church year, with Natalie Danner as our Sunday coordinator. And yay! And we're going to form our friendly arch later on down the aisle, so we may need to fill in a few of these spots right here on the side so that we can actually make an arch as we send the children downstairs. We will also commemorate the gravity of this date on the calendar, 9/11, pausing to hold in our memory innumerable lives lost on a dark day that cannot be dismissed nor forgotten. Third, in the spirit of invitation, you'll hear from each of the members of the search team who will share brief reflections on their roles and hopes for the process. We stand alongside the entire congregation in gratitude for the leadership of Rev. KB as our interim minister this year, and Reverend Sally in her continuing role as associate minister. Together with your help, we're focused on preparing for a significant transition for UUCUC, as we hope to welcome a new settled minister sometime in 2023. The team has been meeting for a month now, and each Monday evening, We begin with covenants that we wrote together to guide this process, each of us pledging to uphold our responsibilities to the congregation and one another, making the work of this committee a priority in our lives. We thought you might like to read these covenants, so we've included them in the order of service as an insert, and you can find it there. After the meditation today following Joys and Sorrows, you'll hear brief reflections from Wendy Graves, Chris Hanauer, Tanya Hodges, Dave Sharp, and Angie Urban, each addressing their intentions, hopes, and commitments to the task. And then co-chair Pat McClard will follow by describing the specific ways that the entire UUCUC community will participate in this process. As one of our practices together, we begin each Sunday with a land acknowledgement of the indigenous nations of this land, a practice that connects us to the history of this place and our own responsibilities as stewards of the land and as members of a wider community. Wherever you're listening, please bring to mind the indigenous peoples of your place. There'll be a moment of silence after the acknowledgement, and in that silence, I wish that you might consider something you could do beyond the silence to make a difference for those who represent Native nations amongst us in our community. In this community and in our church home on Green Street, we worship on the land of the Kickapoo, the Peoria, the Miami, and the Sioux. These peoples still exist today and are committed to a continued struggle for survival and self-determination. Wherever you are this morning, I invite you now to take a breath and consider the history and peoples of the land you're resting on. May we always remember where we are, the sacredness of this place, and the many people and peoples who have belonged to it. Thank you. Our chalice lighting this morning, written by our recent settled minister, Florence Kaplow, captures the feeling of being on the verge of change. I'm looking for Tanya Hodges. Oh, there you are. We talked about being close by, and then I forgot to look. I'm so glad. So Tanya will lead you in the words printed in your order of service.
Good morning. We'll begin. Lightning on Thresholds by Florence Kaplow. We kindle this flame, honoring the doorways in our souls, the windows through which we gaze at one another, the balconies where we catch glimpses of the sky, the thresholds on this morning, wondering, hoping, fearing, dreaming.
You are invited to stand in body or in spirit to join in our energetic opening hymn, which cautions us in one of the verses, don't be afraid of some change. Hymn 361. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Danner, and I'm the Sunday Coordinator for Children's REE. I want to start by giving a big thank you to all of our REE volunteers who have stepped up when calling on to help with our children and youth. So please stand and be recognized. Thank you so much to all of you. Our big number today is 61. We have 61 children and youth registered for religious exploration and engagement. I wanted to also give a thank you to all families who are participating in REE. Also, please stand and be recognized. We are so thankful that you trust us to be a part of your community of care. Thank you to all of the families. Thank you. And of course, to the children and youth themselves, please stand. Children, youth, thank you. We're so happy to have you with us to learn, talk, and play together. Thank you, everyone. Religious exploration and engagement at UUCUC includes programs for children and youth from pre-K through high school, and nursery for those younger ones. Downstairs in the classrooms, children and youth will learn about Unitarian Universalism through activities, read-alouds, and conversations using the Soul Matters curriculum. We'll also chat, make friends, and have fun. After services, this is a very important message for those of you who are in REE, we have reserved a donut for every child and youth who are registered in REE. Since it's raining, families can exit out the rear door of the church once they've picked up their child, come around the path, and in the overhang area, they'll go and get a donut down the stairs. There's a small step path there. I'll be outside to direct people too, so if you get lost, it's really not that far away from the rear door. Another thing is that today, in a few moments, we will all sing a special song, and all children, youth, and REE teachers will walk downstairs to their classrooms together. And they're going to begin REE again for the first time in a very long time. If you are a family that'd like to have your child participate in REE today but have not yet registered, we still welcome you. But please join your child when they walk out and see me in the hall to complete a registration form. So today, children and youth will go under the arches, and you'll see what that means because it's going to be in the middle of the church in the front and in the back. And at the end of the arches, they're going to pick up a special gift from the congregation. You'll see a sample of what this special gift will be. A small notebook where they can write, if they have any kind of drawings that they'd like to do in REE or journal, they can do that as well. So it's been a long time coming. Each volunteer has put in many weeks of planning great things for the children and youth of this congregation. The first day of REE is here, and we couldn't be more excited. So thank you so much.
21 years ago today, at 8:45 a.m. Eastern Time, against a beautiful cloudless sky in New York City, the first hijacked plane hit the North Tower and changed America and the world. There have been and will continue to be arguments about what could have been if America had chosen a response other than war and aggression. No one can argue that fear has not increased dramatically since that day. 9/11 and terrorism exploited our fear of the other and has stoked xenophobia not just here but across the world. The 9/11 Memorial has created a program for anyone to actively participate in remembrance of this horrible event, and that we are all connected to everyone else in the world under the same sky. Take a picture of the sky sometime today and post it to your social media feed tagging @9/11Memorial and using the hashtags Remember the Sky and Never Forget. Let's take a short moment of silence to remember the victims of 9/11 and all those killed in related wars in the 21 years since. Thank you.
Each Sunday here at UUCUC, we make space to share the joys and to share the sorrows closest to our hearts. We usually take a long pause with music to give folks time to write things down, personal joys and sorrows that they are carrying and wish to share on a card or an email to joysandsorrows@uucuc.edu. Then the minister or worship leader reads out those shared messages so we can celebrate each other's joyful news, each other's sorrows, and support each other in our griefs. Before COVID, as Reverend Sally had shared last week, there was one other element to this. During the pause, while folks were writing and music was playing, those who wished to could come forward and silently light a candle here on our altar table as we were prepared for this morning. And when we went virtual in March 2020, we lost that part of joys and sorrows, but Reverend Sally and I and others agree it's time to return to our candle lighting together. And so last week we began to offer this again. Juan's going to play our blessing song, Longtime Son, which you're invited to sing this week along with, as you know. And during the song, you are invited to write your joys and sorrows you would like to share on the cards or send in by email. And if you wish to, you may come forward during the music and light a candle in silent substitute and prayer and meditation, whatever that is for you. I'll be standing here to help if sometimes flames can be ornery, and so not to stress about that. And if you have a card, you're welcome to put your card in the basket at this time. And wherever you are, if you have a joy, something that's lifting your spirit, or something that's weighing down yourself, your family, for our wider community, for the wider world, this is the time to remember and to share. Okay. our Umita. It's two joys. The joy for the work of UUCUC's Immigration Justice Task Force on the free garage sale at Hessel Park Church yesterday. Several Afghan families who are new to our community were welcomed with items that will help them make a home here. There was a heartwarming morning. It was a heartwarming morning, and it was covered on WCIA. And then secondly, and you'll want to join on this one, I'm sure, many joys and many thanks for the work of the Ministerial Search Committee. Do we have spirit fingers and clapping, whatever you want to do? Yes, these folks are such a gift and are working so hard and are brilliant. Lynn Noring Wiley. Such a joy to find RE in full bloom again. Thank you to the many capital letters who made this happen, and thank you to the children attending. We are happy to see you. From Sam, sort of retired. I always like that. Joy for all the sounds of children in the sanctuary. They are to be seen and heard at UUCUC. Amen? Amen. And joy and gratitude to each member of the Settled Search team. That comes from the chair of the transitions team, and we all join him in that. That's Sam. Becky Densmore, our chair of our board and grandma and member. Incredible and profound gratefulness to Laura and Kelly and Natalie for their leadership and commitment to our children and RE&E. Spirit fingers. These are the leaders who have really pulled so much together and made this happen, along with others. Jean Sisson, I am joyful for this drama on YouTube. Well, we're glad to have you with us, Jean. Though you're here in person, we're glad to have you with us today. Joy and Sandy Finnerty. We have been working hard to get our house ready to sell. This week it went on the market and we sold it in 3 days. We will be moving to an independent living apartment in Clark, Lindsay later this fall. Just walking by your future home there yesterday. It's beautiful and ready for you. Congratulations, Joe and Sandy. Yes, yes. Thank you, Sam. We take care of each other here at UUCUC, and tell you what, Reverend Sally and I so appreciate being part of this family together. Courtney, today is Harriet's 6-month-old birthday. Happy to have him in our lives and to be with you all today. Did I get his name right, Courtney? Harlan. I was Harlan. I'm a lefty, and so reading right-handed is kind of beyond me. So, no, Harlan's 6-month birthday. Happy birthday, Harlan. Yes, and we're really delighted to have you and your family here, Harlan. Thank you for bringing them. I offered to hold him during the service, but no, he's got his parents there. I'd like to invite you to join me in a blessing. Wherever you're sitting, if you feel comfortable to find a way of touching someone around you. It could be fingertip to fingertip, it could be holding hands, it could be elbow to elbow. Do it comfortably in a way that's comfortable for both of you, and if you're sitting alone, maybe in your imagination, you're reaching out to those around you. In our religious tradition as you use, it's not just the ministers and religious professionals that have the power to bless. Each of us has the power to bless one another and bless the world. Therefore, I invite everyone to participate in our community blessing this morning. These words are ordinary words, but the blessing is made real through our shared intention together. As we have been blessed, so we bless one another. Breathe in, breathe out. This breath we share with all that breathes, human insect, animal, in the sea, and in between, plants and beyond. Feel the love of the universe flowing through this community, from this world into you, and out into the universe again as we breathe. Let the love of all the universe, your love, flow outward to its heights, to its depths, to its broad extent. You are more than you know, and you are more beloved than you have any idea. Take up what power is yours to create safe haven and to make of earth a heaven. Give hope to those you encounter that they may know safety from inner and outer harm and be happy and at peace, healthy and strong, caring and joyful. Be the blessing you already are. It is enough. That is enough. You are enough. Blessed be. Amen. Please take these moments now as you sit in your own space to breathe and rest in this music for meditation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Angie Urban. I'm here to talk about our resilience. Our lives are full of change these days. I am personally dealing with some big change right now. My son, who has lived with me for 18 and a half years, is now away at college. We dropped him off only last weekend. While part of me is brimming with pride and joy for his future, the other part of me is grieving, mourning a loss that is not truly a loss, but nonetheless feels different, absent. Maybe you have also experienced some big change recently. Or even if you have not, we all went through our collective big change with the pandemic. At first, people kept saying, once we get back to normal, once we get back to how things were, once we get back. After 2.5 years, it never really happened, this getting back to what we once had. We have a new normal now. Change is all over the place. Lives are forever altered. Why do things have to change? We may ask ourselves. You first respond to the change and you try to recover from it. At some point in the midline of change, you learn you have started to adapt. There is no going back. Perhaps, without you ever realizing, you once again start looking towards the future. You have figured out how to move on, respond, recover, adapt. This is resilience. We know collective change as a church community too. It seems only a brief time ago, we were in search of a settled minister to replace Axel. Then, as soon as we settled in and started dreaming of our future with our new minister, we continued to endure even more change. New friends, family, loved ones, entering and departing from our lives. Coronavirus taking a hold, changes in our daily commute, school, work, Sunday service, our routines, illness, more death, too much to endure, reaching out to neighbors, creating bubbles of safety, birth, and new ways to find joy. We found Sally and KB. We said goodbye to Florence. Gone are the days we had, but this new change is not inherently tragic. It is only different. We have responded by electing a search team. We are recovering through our transition, acknowledging that we may not know what lies ahead, but trusting in ourselves and each other that we are responding. We will recover, and soon enough, we all have the ability to adapt. This is our resilience. We are resilient.
Good morning. I'm Chris Hanauer. I'm going to talk about ministry as something active. Over the years, I have found joy and meaning in helping to put together the occasional worship service for our church, sometimes as a member of the worship committee, sometimes as a freelancer. Putting together a worship service is a great way to work through my thinking on an issue and to present the results to a sympathetic audience, hopefully giving them something worthwhile to think about on a Sunday morning. And every time I am involved with planning and presenting a service, I am tempted to think of the task as putting on a show. I have a friend who is a television producer, and when we talk about his job, I'm struck with how the tasks he does are the tasks I do when working on a service. Never more so than in the last 2 years, when as a member of the AV team, I have literally been responsible for producing a television program. But as much as I enjoy the fantasy of putting on a show, what happens each week inside this building and outside of it is so much more than that. If worship is just a show, then you are just an audience, a group of paying customers passively receiving what you have paid for. And we are not, and you are not that, and we are not that. Worship is at the core of what we do here, what we do. That means that your presence in the pews and on YouTube is an act of ministry. We are here for each other, to receive a sermon and listen to beautiful music performed by talented people, yes, but also to talk to each other, to provide each other with what we need for our souls, whether it's a hug, a laugh, a supportive chat message, whatever. It is so easy to think of the minister as the most important part of the worship experience, as the showrunner for our religious lives. Let us not forget that it is us ministering to each other that makes this place so special.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Tanya Hodges, and this is my reflection. Something that this pandemic halted that I deeply miss is our in-person coffee houses. Although we've had a few virtual versions, they just don't really capture the spirit of the live event. There's something almost magical about the way we all come together with our differing interests, our differing abilities, our differing attraction levels to being center stage. There's something that we create, a genuine treasure that literally exists for one night only. It's odd, but one of my favorite parts of what happens at the end of the event is when everybody in the room lends a hand to returning Fellowship Hall to its Sunday morning setup. There's no complex plan, no detailed orders, no supervisory committee is convened. We just all get together, see a job that needs doing, and we do it we each choose a part to complete. I never feel more like I have found my tribe than I do when we kind of organically work together to achieve a common goal. Perhaps some of you have shared that feeling. I bring this up now because some of us might be feeling a little struggle as we anticipate participating in the processes of the search. We are supposed to create a sort of snapshot of who we are, and we want to get that right. I encourage you to believe that you can't get this wrong. You are all subject matter experts in your own opinions about this church and why it matters to you. You can take 10 words or 2 paragraphs to express those thoughts, and either really is okay, because our collective efforts to express our feelings yield a greater content than the sum of their parts. You do you, and know that what you bring to this table is exactly what we need. Thank you for listening.
As Unitarian Universalists, we acknowledge that we are part of this sacred web of life, the web of our connections with each other, with the wider community, with the world. In that spirit, each Sunday we share half of our Sunday offering with an organization in alignment with our UU values. During September, we support Uniting Pride of Champaign County. Uniting Pride was founded in 2009 as an organization to advocate for the equality, wellness, advocacy, and visibility of the LGBTQ+ communities here in Champaign County. Since then, the center has been active in the community through support and social groups, community building events, educational workshops, clothing drives, arts festivals, political advocacy, and more. And our commitment to this organization is also part of our pledge to be a welcoming congregation here at UUCUC. The offering will now be received. Thank you, Juan, for that deeply moving journey. And thank you all for your generosity expressed in this and so many other ways.
Hi, I'm Dave Sharp. I'm intrigued by how this church is all about belonging. The depth of this belonging is expressed in our seventh principle, which is one of 8 short statements that guide our interactions with each other and the world. It says, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Respect. Interdependent web. Each of us a part, a unique part. When I lose sight of the fact that our seventh principle is far more than a lesson in ecology or astronomy, I draw upon Thich Nhat Hanh, the famed Buddhist monk. Thich Nhat Hanh stressed that we are more than interdependent, more than individuals coming together at our convenience. In his words, we inter-are. We are part of each other. We have interbeing. Each of our lives is uniquely affected by all the other lives and actions that surround us, both up close and personal, and far away. And at our best, we give life to this sense that we inter-are. As we come together in our shared search for our new settled minister, let's remember that each of us is doing our unique part on behalf of all of us. We'll discover that we truly inter-are. And that's why our badge for our search committee is an equation. It says you plus the search team equals settled minister. And I'm sure that equation will balance. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Wendy Graves, and I'm going to talk about living our fifth principle. We are in the midst of living out our celebrated fifth principle, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and society at large. The search for our new minister relies on a democratic process with input from us all. Other denominations have ministers sent to them, not UUs. We want our say. When I was asked to serve on this committee, one of the aspects of this process that appealed to me the most was the opportunity to get to know you all better. I may be biased, but we appear to be a pretty awesome group of people. We are beginning with a survey. Although your responses are anonymous, the results will give us a picture of where we have come from, where we are now, and our future aspirations. You will be letting the search committee know the qualities we need in a new minister. The results will be shared with you as well as with the potential ministerial candidates. We will also be having cottage meetings and other conversations. The UUA says we should get at least 65% of you all to fill out the survey, but I feel they're referring to an average congregation, and we are definitely above average, so I know that you will all be filling this out. The survey is for everyone, whether you have signed the book as an official member or are a friend who simply enjoys hanging out with us. We want and need all of your opinions. This was already sent to you through our weekly e-news. If you don't receive email from our church and we don't have your contact information, please let us know. If you don't like filling stuff out online, we have volunteers will be available today and next week after the service. We can come to you. If you're not comfortable here, just let us know. We can get to you. So if you have time today, join us in the fellowship hall after the service. And if you experience any glitches, be patient. Remember, our struggles bring us closer together.
Sorry, guys. Hi, I'm Pat McClard. I will be your taskmaster today. I know you churches are not the best place in the world for a sports analogy, but I got faith in you guys. A minister's search is not a spectator sport. We need everyone in the church to participate, and the time to participate is now. The search group's task is not to find a minister that the 7 of us think would be good. Our main goal is to understand what kind of minister the entire congregation wants, and then to find that minister. We have laid out the key milestones in the search process in the slide. The middle column shows where we need your help. Right now, our ask is for you to complete the congregational survey this week, today if possible. From the results of the survey, we will generate more questions that we will ask during the focus groups and cottage group meetings. That is the next part that we need your help with. Please volunteer to be part of a focus group or cottage group meeting when we send those invitations out. The next time that we will ask your help is to attend a workshop called Beyond Categorical Thinking. This workshop from the UUA will help all of us, especially those in the dominant cultural group, to think differently about what we traditionally look for in a minister. After that, the search group will work internally for a while as we engage in the interviewing process. However, we will continue to keep the congregation updated on our progress. Finally, when the minister candidate has been chosen, we will need everyone at the service that the candidate gives, as well as meeting them afterward. And then you will vote on whether we have successfully identified a minister. We cannot do this without you, so please take the survey and be ready to participate in the meetings and workshops this fall. Thank you for this opportunity to serve.
On behalf of the entire Settled Search team, I thank you for your indulgence in listening to all of our views and perspectives, and especially the invitation that we do this work together, and we look forward to the contributions and to the insights that you will lend to this important process. We'll close this morning with closing hymn, and it represents one of my favorite things to do with the hymnal, which is a mix and match thing. So you might not know, but sometimes you can take a text from one hymn and put it to the tune of another if the syllables line up right. And so I've done that with this. It's so much fun. You can play it at home, and I'll be glad to teach you how to do it sometime if you want to know. But we're going to sing the text of hymn 145, but to the tune of 410. A few weeks ago, MR sang a beautiful solo, and we were so grateful to hear their voice. And so you may have this tune in your ears, and I know you'll catch on. So the words this time, pay more attention to those, and you'll just ride the beautiful tune. So thank you so much, and here we go with our mix and match hymn. Yes, please stand.
As tranquil streams that meet and merge and flow as one to meet the sea, our kindred hearts and minds truth that makes us free.
As we extinguish the chalice in a moment, I have just one announcement. Because of the weather and the fact, even though I believe the rain has stopped, but it's wet outside, am I correct in saying that the fellowship hour will not be held outside today, but only on Zoom? Is that correct? Those who know? Yes.
Is there any reason people couldn't keep their masks on and fellowship without goodies in the fellowship hall?
That would be possible, but we also will be conducting the survey helpers in Fellowship Hall, so just be aware of that we're going to set up our computers in Fellowship Hall and sit beside those who would like a little bit of help and assistance. So I think we could probably do it together, but just know there are multiple things happening in Fellowship Hall. All right, very good. So join me, please, in the chalice extinguishing. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.